Yo, what is up, Hawk fans? Hope all is well. I'm going to be updating you guys on the official visit weekend that Iowa just had. As I've told you guys, obviously, I prefer to record this in front of my mic and computer, but due to circumstances, obviously, I can't do that always. And this is a way to still give you guys content. I've done two videos, I believe, in the car. One without the clip-on mic, one with. I got some good feedback on the last, most recent video I did with the clip-on mic. So anyways, without further ado, let's dive into this. So I have pretty much nailed the official visit weekend. Now, all bragging aside, there wasn't really too much that was not completely out in the open. Recruiting nowadays is, for the most part, a majority of the time, completely out in the open. Seldom do you have recruits like Yossi Epinesa, where the family keeps things close to the vest and more hush-hush. Nowadays, things are much more vocal and out in the open. So I think I'm not going to do the order in which the commitments happened. I'm just going to go over each of the current four commits that Iowa has received. The four commits that Iowa has received in lieu of the official visit weekend, or in the aftermath of the official visit weekend, would be Indianapolis interior offensive lineman Cameron Herron. It would be offensive tackle out of Missouri, legacy recruit Lucas Allgaier. It would be defensive tackle out of the state of Illinois, Brad Fitzgibbon, who is a former teammate of current Iowa Hawkeye DB, who's doing fantastically, has received raving reviews from the Iowa coaching staff. John Nestor. He'll be going into his true sophomore season next year. And the other one would be defensive back Charles Bell, he actually, I believe, is from Massachusetts, but currently plays high school, I believe, at a prep school in the state of Connecticut. So Iowa, in my opinion, before I discuss each individual recruit, and by the way, guys, I will likely be doing another video later today in front of the camera and mic on my computer. This is kind of just an interim quick video. Be sure to smash the subscribe button. I'd love for the channel to get to 2,000 subscribers by the time the next season, football season, rolls around. So Iowa, in my opinion, has met their goal, what I said their goal should be coming out of the official visit weekend. I said on the low end, they should have what I would consider meeting expectations would be having between 11 and 13 commitments coming out of the official visit weekend, and they already have 12 with these four new additions. Now, I'll talk about the people who are the names that are still on the board. Let's talk about the commitments. So let's start with defensive tackle Brad Fitzgibbons. He has an excellent frame, excellent size, 6'3", 6'4". He is the prototypical defensive tackle that Iowa looks for, a guy that is on the taller end for a defensive tackle, maybe a little bit more athletic, but can really plug up the middle. Similar to like a Aaron Graves, a Carl Davis, a Y.A. Black, guys that play defensive end in high school a little bit, but will likely play defensive tackle at the college level. He's obviously a weight room guy. Like I said, he's got an excellent frame. I think he'll probably end up being like graded out as like an 89, maybe a low 4-star when all is said and done. I wouldn't be surprised either way. As I've said to you guys in the past, how the recruiting industry works, what they are today is not what they will be when all is said and done, as recruiting evaluations happen for their senior seasons, and guys develop at different rates, and a lot of guys take a huge step forward their senior season. So I really like this get. Iowa beat out the likes of Illinois, I believe, Michigan State, Kansas. This was a nice get for Kelvin Bell. Kelvin Bell continues to be one of the best recruiters on the Iowa Hawkeye coaching staff. The last, I would say, two. We'll see how this defensive line class shapes out. It'll primarily be beholden on Yossi Epinesa, which I'll circle back to. But the last two classes, not counting this one, for Kelvin Bell have been superb. Last year's had multiple four-star guys, one of the best recruiting hauls for Kelvin Bell with his time at Iowa. The next commitment that Iowa landed, let's talk about Charles Bell. He's got excellent frame, prototypical Phil Parker guy, 6'1", lengthy. How I like to describe this is simply to say that the longer and taller the players on your defense are, the more space can be covered, the more passing lanes can be covered. It's the same thing in basketball. That's why coaches always teach their players to have their hands up, because it makes the appearance of having smaller passing lanes. And not only is it the appearance of it, but it's just the truth. More ground is taken up. But I think taller guys definitely work well in the zone scheme that Phil Parker likes to run. That's not to say that Phil Parker is not willing to take a shot on a shorter guy if he's quicker, more explosive, and has good ball skills. But by and large, he likes taller, 6 foot to 6'2" defensive backs to man the defensive backfield. I think Charles Bell could end up being a 4-star guy. He'll probably, at the very least, end up being a 89, 88. Currently, he's a 87. He had some good offers: Boston College, Notre Dame, Wisconsin. Now, who knows how committable those offers were? Spots get filled up through the official visit process. But nonetheless, he had some nice offers, and this is a really nice get for Phil Parker. I think that this will be a good match. It's always surprised me that Phil Parker is not able to land even more higher touted guys. Now, the last two classes, he's landed some solid prospects, but I'm talking like 4-star, coveted 4-star guys. The amount of guys that Phil Parker puts into the NFL, it stuns me that he doesn't land more guys akin to Xavier Wanta as opposed to 3-star guys. But either way, the defensive back position is a position that you can take flyers on guys, more developmental guys who have the athletic gifts, and it can be taught and coached up like Phil Parker does for a lot of these under the radar guys, as we have seen for countless guys throughout his career. But nonetheless, this is a really solid prospect for the Iowa Hawkeyes. The next guy that I want to talk about is Cameron Herron, the interior offensive lineman out of the state of Indiana. Iowa, of course, has landed quite a few guys from the state of Indiana. For a while there, it was probably their most prized area outside of the state of Iowa, and that included the state of Illinois, especially when Kelvin Bell first got to the Iowa Hawkeyes. The Warren Central Indianapolis area was a hotbed for Iowa. Now, Iowa still recruits the area really well, but I would say Iowa and Illinois are the current top states, especially the state of Illinois. Hell, I would say the state of Illinois, in a lot of regards, is actually the top state that Iowa recruits in of late. previous recruits that Iowa has gotten from the Indianapolis area, Julius Brents, DJ Johnson. Now, they had varying levels of success at Iowa. Julius Brents ended up transferring to Kansas State. Iowa did also land Trevor Locke and Leighton Jones, who were offensive line from the state of Indiana. So sorry, guys. When I'm driving, I can't help, but some people drive like lunatics. So he's a really nice get. He's got a really good frame. People have described him as an old school mauler. He's really good in the run game. I think that when all is said and done, he'll probably be a high 3-star, low 4-star prospect. Iowa beat out the likes of Cincinnati, Iowa State. I think West Virginia was a school that offered him. So it was a really nice get for Iowa. The next prospect is, to me, the only somewhat of a surprise would be, and probably the best recruit that Iowa landed in this most recent batch would be offensive tackle Lucas Allgeier. He was originally a defensive tackle prospect, and he had offers at that position, but of course Iowa saw him on the offensive line. He was an all-state defensive tackle performer in the state of Missouri. It looked like Kansas State was the primary competition for landing him. He had some other nice offers: Kansas State, Kansas, Iowa State, Missouri, I believe, offered him. On3 considers him a 4-star offensive tackle prospect, which I think when all is said and done, he will be a consensus 4-star when all the recruiting sites are able to evaluate him as an offensive line prospect. Iowa was really able to put the heat on in the recruitment of him due to the relationship separation of Iowa and offensive tackle prospect Nick Brooks. This is probably the best get of the 4, but all of them are really, really solid gets with solid offers outside of Iowa for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Lastly, some of the names still on the board. Yossi Epinesa, that's probably the biggest name. He'll be deciding here in the next week or so, according to some of the recruiting sites. 4-star, low 4-star wide receiver Terrence Smith is a big name still on the board. Iowa is currently the favorite to land him. They're primarily battling Minnesota for his commitment. I think that they have the best shot, if you were to ask me, since they got the last visit from him and they have been recruiting him for a long, long time now. Florida DB Joshua Guerrero is still on the board. He was recently forecasted to go to Pittsburgh, which is unfortunate by one of the national analysts. We'll see how that shakes out. That was a cast that was submitted this morning on 247 Sports. And we have interior offensive lineman Brock Heath, another Blue Valley Northwest prospect out of the state of Kansas. He was forecasted with a 4 out of 10 confidence meter to go to Kansas State. It would be really nice if Iowa landed him. Iowa has the Blue Valley Northwest connection. They've landed tight end Gavin Hoffman, 4-star, one of the best recruits that Abdul Hodge has landed in his tenure at Iowa. Mason Richmond is from that area. So they have a lot of connections there. We'll see how that one shakes up. But the biggest names would be Terrence Smith and Yossi Epinesa. If they can land both those guys, this will be a really, really successful official visit time frame for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Like I said, I got more for you guys probably later today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to smash the subscribe button, at the very least. Like, comment. Let me know what you guys think. And last but not least, DBAP, don't be a pussy. Well, on facts or feelings, because your feelings just matter. Love you, Hawk fans. See you guys next time. Go Hawks. Bye-bye.